here we are. Save my progress. We're at about 4 hours. If we can get through this in the next 2 hours, I will consider it such a success. Good morning. Ah, are you by yourself? Ah, morning, Pearl. Mr. Nick, please tell me what's gonna happen to Mystic Maya. Well, she's gonna have to go through a lot of therapy because of what you did. I'm sorry, we don't know. Oh, wait, no, not because of what you did. Because of what your mom did. It's your mom's fault because Maya found her letter, I guess. I'm sorry, we don't know yet. The investigation is still going on, so I wasn't allowed into the inner temple. You're innocent of, like, murdering people or whatever. However, you did try to do what would have led to the murder, so, I mean, you're still at fault for not telling me about the letter, but Phoenix is also... Listen, I gotta be honest, everyone here except Gumshoe sucks. Phoenix should have been more clear with Pearl about her mom being the scum of the earth. Pearl should have been more clear about the letter she got from her mom. Maya apparently found the letter too. She should have told us about it. Like, everyone sucks and everyone is to blame. Everyone is to blame except Gumshoe. Only Gumshoe is blameless. He's the only one, and that's why he's the GOAT. Investigation is still going on, so I wasn't allowed into the inner temple. Ah, I see. So is Sister Iris still trying to remove those trick locks in the training hall? No, she's the defendant in the case, so she can't be at the inner temple. She's required to be here in court. Then how come she's not here in the defendant's lobby? I have to admit it's kind of strange. If you're looking for Iris, she's in the prosecutor's lobby. Edgeworth. What's Iris doing over there? She's going over today's testimony with the prosecutor as we speak. Today's testimony? You heard me. Iris is going to be testifying as a witness for the prosecution. Wait, what? Prosecutor is squeezing her for a confession, or so I heard. Franziska von Karma, what are you up to? I know what you're thinking, but Franziska isn't going to be the prosecutor today. Okay, good, so they're not going to sideline Godot like they did Franziska in the second game. That's good. What? Then who is? Who else would it be but Godot? Who else but Godot? Godot. Franziska is engaged in some important work at the Sacred Cavern. Sacred Cavern? You don't mean that she's... Exactly. She's been out there all night trying to remove those trick locks. With the head nun's assistance, naturally. We estimate that the last of the locks should be taken care of in about 3 hours. Can we bring it down to 2 hours? That's when I'd like my stream to end. Hope everything continues to go smoothly and we receive some good news soon. Yeah, thanks, Edgeworth. Prosecutor Godot intends to nail this case shut today. Be prepared to fight like there's no tomorrow. You don't have to tell me that. Touché. I can already see it in your eyes. You're not the same fever-ridden, frantic maniac you were yesterday. It's strange. On the way here, I decided that today would be the end of all this. Almost immediately after I made that decision, I felt myself getting stronger. Interesting. Maybe you passed your cold onto someone else literally. And with that, I leave the rest in your capable hands, partner. Thanks. Dude, they did so much better with Edgeworth in this game instead of the second game. I think Edgeworth is really good in the first and the third game. I think they absolutely, like, bungle Edgeworth in the second game. The way they use Edgeworth... I think I just hate Justice for All. I think that the second Ace Attorney game just kind of sucks. I think that they use Edgeworth really poorly in it. I don't really like any of the cases in it, more or less. But, like... The first Ace Attorney, which I think is just called Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, and then Trials and Tribulation have both been great. I think they do really good with Edgeworth in both of them. Still don't have answers for most of the riddles plaguing this case. The circumstances around the murder of Miss Elise Denham? No, I mean Miss Misty Fey. The impossible flight Larry claims to have seen. And what that woman is really after. I will solve them all and bring this whole tragedy to an end. I wonder if Morgan actually planned even for Dahlia to die and Dahlia to possess Pearl forever. Is she, like, that much of a freak that Pearl really is just a tool for her to bring it? Like, she doesn't care what kid does it? Even, like, replacing Pearl's spirit with Dahlia's is fine? Court is now in session for the trial. Yeah, we got the original judge back. Let's go! Court is now in session for the trial of Iris of Hazakura Temple. Your Honor, what are you? Who? Me? Well, my little brother came to visit me in my chambers earlier this morning. This Canadian dude is your little brother. Oh my goodness, you gave him the cold, Phoenix. All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, he developed a scorching fever and fainted. Therefore, I'll be standing in for him. I see, Your Honor. So they're brothers? That explains a lot. My poor brother, he looked a bit pale, not to mention sad that he couldn't be here. Alright, Godot, let's do this. I have like 2 hours. Well, I have more than 2 hours if I need it, but I would really like to finish this trial day in 2 hours. It's impossible to predict what the future has in store for any of us. This is precisely why people feel the need to judge the past. And we of the court have been charged with the solemn duty of passing such judgment. Well said, Mr. Godot. I understood exactly what you said, at least up until the end anyway. Now then, Mr. Godot, please proceed with your opening statement. Humans are fragile, fickle beings. Our hearts change with the shifting of the tides. There's only one thing that remains a constant in this crazy world. The bitter darkness that lies at the bottom of this mug. So then you mean, forget it. What do you mean? During yesterday's trial, the accused refused to admit her role in the crime, but today she's had a change of heart. Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple has a confession to make. Confession? The defendant? Iris. Why didn't she discuss this with me first? Because she feels indebted to Dahlia, and now she's gonna take the fall for Dahlia, just like Terry tried to. And just like you tried to, back in the day. Very well. This court will now hear the defendant's confession. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules. My name is Iris. I'm but a simple nun undergoing training at Hazakura Temple. Witness, is there something you want to confess to? Yes. But first, I want to apologize to Mr. Wright. I can't continue lying to everyone anymore. It's all right. What is it? Mr. Wright, I have to admit that I did play a part in this terrible incident. Are you actually confessing? Are you saying that you were the one who murdered Miss Elise Denham? No, I'm not, Your Honor. But I dealt with the cover-up after the murder took place. After her spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of Mystic Elise and carried it to the Hazakura Temple courtyard where I desecrated it. Whoa. What? Order in the court! Order! Witness, are you saying you were an accomplice to the murder? Yes, that's correct. What? 3 minutes in court and I'm already covered in a cold sweat? Ha! Everyone on the planet is an accomplice to something. Just happens to be that in this case it's to murder. Isn't that right, Mr. Trite? Ah, that Godot. This is the confession they were conferring about. It pains me to say this, but it looks like Iris's testimony was all a lie. Alright, we don't need that anymore. Now then, little lady, if you don't mind, I got a question for you. Whose crime were you trying to cover up by your actions? Iris was covering for someone? Yeah, Dahlia. Now I'm definitely up the creek without a paddle or a life jacket. I've been at Hazakura Temple ever since I was a little girl. Hazakura Temple is run by one of the branch families of the Crane tradition. One of our missions is to protect the main family. I'm sorry, but main family? Yes, and that's why I would dirty myself if need be to protect her. The daughter of the master of the Crane channeling technique, Mystic Mia Fey. They're gonna blame Maya for it. Huh? Wake up and smell the coffee, Trite. She's naming Maya! Order! Order in the court! Not only did you witness the murder, you know the name of the murderer. I'm terribly sorry, but it's true. I saw her commit the crime with my very own eyes. And then I cleaned up the area to try to protect her. That's ridiculous! Maya could never do such a... The defense will refrain from commenting until the appropriate time. Now, witness, let's hear your testimony. What exactly happened on the night of the crime? Yes, Your Honor. Thought I was prepared for the unexpected, but I never imagined the case would wind up going this direction. I mean, Maya is the one who committed the murder, presumably, with Dahlia's spirit. Went to the inner temple that night and I saw it all happen in the garden. Saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff. While Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Mystic Elise moved in to deliver a fatal strike. Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon. It was only in self-defense. You can't blame her for it. Oh, she's trying to say that Mystic Maya killed Elise in self-defense, or Misty when Misty was trying to kill her, which is obviously not what happened. So it was in self-defense. Yes, Mystic Elise was the one who attacked first. That's why I tried my best to protect Mystic Maya. You moved the victim's body to the temple so that Maya wouldn't be suspected. Isn't that right? Not bad. You got the instincts of a true criminal. Well, her and her twin both. Something's not quite right. I'm sure it was established yesterday that Iris never went to the inner temple that night. And that the person who did go was that woman. Iris even admitted it. Now then, Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination. All right, let's go. I don't know what exactly I'm looking for to contradict here. Obviously, she's lying. Sister Iris, your testimony has changed quite a bit since yesterday. You stated yesterday that on the night of the murder, you didn't go to the inner temple. Did she now? Too bad for you. What she said yesterday doesn't mean much today. By the way, where were you when she claimed she didn't go? It was in the inner temple's training hall. A private conversation between the two of you does not constitute testimony. That would be properly described as hearsay. Now, what do you have to say, witness? I just couldn't tell him the truth at that time. Mystic Maya, she's your girlfriend, isn't she? I didn't want to be the one to break it to you that I saw her commit murder. There, we all understand how difficult it is for you. Now then, let's continue with the testimony. What'd you witness in the temple garden? Phoenix did not deny Maya being his girlfriend. Shouldn't he, not be allowed to do this case if it is his girlfriend who is being accused? Well, Your Honor. Saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff. You're saying that the victim attacked Maya, Miss Fey? Yes, it was a truly frightening scene. Oh, I should save the game, by the way. Now that we're here. How old is Maya again? 19? 20 by now? I think the game will tell us, actually. She's 19 right now. I think Phoenix, we don't have him as a profile anymore. I think Phoenix is 23, 24? They got a 5-year difference. Yes, it was a truly frightening scene. Mystic Maya was struck hard on the head and looked like she was gonna collapse. What were you doing at the time? Why didn't you stop them from fighting? I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Wright. I was frightened. I couldn't move. Couldn't even speak. I was in such shock. That's perfectly understandable, my dear. Phoenix was able to do a case when his close friend was the victim. This court doesn't care about relationships. But wasn't the close friend was Larry? Does that count? That doesn't really count. Oh, no, wait. You're talking about 1-4. Never mind. All right. It's perfectly understandable, my dear. This doesn't sound right. I don't believe this testimony for a minute. What happened after that? Yo, Doc, you're in chat too? What the heck? What's up, Doc? Doc, Falk, Butter? All my friends are here to see me finish 3-5. She moved in to deliver a fatal strike? Yes, I'm sure of it. I was looking at chat. I don't even know what I just hit hold it to. She threw down her staff and reached into her robe for a weapon. Wait a minute. What was this weapon? It was some kind of dagger. All right, this is a lie because the weapon is the sword that is in the staff that Gumshoe and I found. A dagger, huh? And Elise Denham tried to stab her with this weapon? To kill Miss Fey? Yes, exactly. Ha! The only thing more entertaining than playing Ace Attorney is watching someone play Ace Attorney. So true. I am almost out of water. Not a good sign. You look like I did after I mistakenly took a swig of Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire. Do you have a problem with the testimony we're hearing from your client, lawyer boy? Do I have a problem with this testimony? Yeah, there's one thing. That's not the weapon. Your Honor, I have a small problem with the witness's testimony. You do, but this witness is your own client. Yes, well, nevertheless. That's fine. Witness, let's add your last statement to the testimony. Yes, sir. Hey, just a moment. It's my job to say that. Listen, Gramps, I won't say it again. Final judgment will be rendered by me. That's not how prosecution works. Okay, now let's continue. Threw her staff and pulled a dagger from inside a robe. This is a lie. Threw her staff away. Mystic Elise was trying to kill Mystic Maya. I think that's why she wanted a more lethal weapon. It's true, it's not easy to inflict a deadly blow with the staff, unless you're skilled. Sister Iris, let me make sure I got this straight. The victim herself chose to throw away her staff. Yes, that's what I saw. Anything odd about that, Mr. Wright? Yeah, it's all right. Mystic Elise attacked Mystic Maya with the dagger, I'm sure of this. Idiot. Objection, Your Honor! Sister Iris, there's something strange about your version of events. Huh? Miss Denham throwing your staff away makes no sense at all to me. But all you can do with the staff is hit someone. Naturally, you wouldn't know this, Sister Iris, but the victim's staff had a special feature about it. As you can see, it's a sword. It's pretty awesome. It also looks like a Cooper cane. If Elise Denham really had wanted to kill Mia Fey, she wouldn't have needed to use a separate dagger. Not when she already had a beautiful blade in her hands already. Well, Sister Iris, what do you have to say? That was an impressive bit of investigating, Trite. I never would have thought that there was a sword hidden in that staff. But even so, how should I put this? A long sword is unwieldy and thus quite ineffective in close quarters combat. Maybe that's why she chose a dagger over her blade. Well, anyway, the type of weapon she chose to use isn't what's important. The important thing is that she tried to kill Mia Fey. As long as there's nothing strange about that, there's no problem with her testimony. Okay, well, her trying to kill her daughter is very strange, so. But there is something strange about this whole testimony. Well, Mr. Wright, the prosecution has a point. Very well, Your Honor. The defense will now present evidence to back its argument. Mr. Wright, I have here another piece of evidence that shows that this testimony can't be trusted. I do. Because Miss Elise Denham would never attempt to take the life of Mia Fey. Because they're, like, related. Do I have something that says they're related? Am I supposed to show the Crane Master's talisman to be, like, she is related to one another? That makes the most sense to me. Take that! The music didn't stop? Well, Mr. DeGo, if you ask me, the only thing that seems strange is the angle of Mr. Trite's index finger. Trite, sticking your finger in an electric outlet might be safer for you. Otherwise, it might get bitten off the next time you poke it in the wrong place. Ah! Still don't think that Miss Denham would ever attack Maya. If you think about the relationship, it's obvious. Why don't you think it over one more time? Very well, Your Honor. Do I need to show the gravy stain? Does her profile say that she's Misty Fey? Real name, Misty Fey. Okay, the music stopped this time. Thank goodness. Okay, there we go. Elise Denham would never have attacked Mia Fey. How can you be so sure? Because the victim's real name was not Elise Denham. Her real name was Misty Fey. Fey? Ah! No, not Mystic Misty Fey. Who is this Misty Fey? Is she related to? Misty Fey is the master of the crane channeling technique. She is also the mother of Mia Fey. Are you serious? Get wrecked. Is it really true, Mr. Wright? Was Elise Denham actually the great Mystic Misty? There's no doubt about it. Looks like Iris had no idea. I can hardly believe it. The idea that she would try to kill her only daughter, one she hadn't seen in 17 years. Perhaps the prosecution can offer some explanation for why she would do such a thing. Ugh. Order in the court! Upon first hearing the witness's testimony, it seemed natural enough. However, in light of some facts that have just been presented, one, that the victim supposedly threw away a sword during a fight, and two, that the two people battling to the death were mother and daughter, despite the facts being believable when taken on their own. When taken together, the entire story seems difficult to believe. Listen, there's nothing in this world that's impossible, except for one little thing. Yes, what is this one little impossible thing? Death and paying taxes. Ha! You still don't get it. It's the blackness of his mug or whatever. You think maybe my beans are under-roasted, but you have no idea, Gramps? Could you get to your point? I heard this witness's confession this morning, just as I had taken the first sip of my 8th cup of morning coffee. You're gonna ruin your health, my friend. Well, he's already dead, apparently, so. Anyway, after hearing this woman's confession, I had a detective who loves to investigate sent to the scene of the crime. And he discovered this little beauty. Is that the dagger the witness testified to seeing? Obviously, Your Honor, but do you not notice something else? Now that you mention it, if you look closely, there appears to be blood on it. Where did you find that? I didn't see that when I investigated the crime scene. Did you investigate the pine tree at the crime scene? Huh? The pine tree? This dagger was stuck in the backside of the pine tree. When the last blow was struck, ending the violent battle between the two women, this little baby was thrown in the direction of the back of the pine tree. Which means the blood on the dagger belongs to the victim, correct? Ha! Were you even listening, old man? I first heard this confession this morning, just as I had taken the first sip of my 13th cup of morning coffee. Didn't you say it was your 8th a few minutes ago? I didn't have enough time to get the blood analyzed on such short notice. In any case, the court will accept the dagger as evidence. Furthermore, I order that a blood test be performed on it immediately. This is my sweetheart. Make sure you treat her right. What is he talking about? Bailiff, get this piece of evidence to the crime lab for testing immediately. Found behind a tree in the intertemple garden. The blood is being analyzed. Okay. Now then, the testimony we've just heard had numerous unbelievable aspects to it. However, after having found the very dagger the witness spoke of, I believe we can consider her testimony to be credible. Cute girls never lie. Ever. Wrong? Literally wrong. It's happened multiple times in this franchise. In any case, witness, if you could please testify again to the court. About what, Your Honor? About the incident you saw, the battle between the two women. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff, but then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive with her back to the stolen lantern. Okay. Has it always said testimony at the top left flashing like that? Has that always been there? That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed. That was a very heartbreaking story. I don't know if there were any bad feelings between them, but it had been 17 years since Mystic Misty's disappearance. Perhaps they simply didn't recognize each other anymore. That seems reasonable. Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. All right, here we go. What am I looking for in this one? Should save at the start of, like, every testimony. Mr. Maya stumbled after being hit over the head with the staff. Hold it. Iris, where were you standing when you witnessed all this? What do you mean? Well, if either of them had noticed you, they might not have continued their battle. I wonder if that's true. The two of them, they were standing near the garden stone lantern. I was watching the whole thing from behind. It was dark where the two of them were, so I think that's why they didn't see me. So it was dark in the garden when the murder took place. Tell me, what did Miss Mia Fey do after she was struck? Then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack, took her weapon. What happened to the victim's staff, then? I'm not sure. The area was very dark, so I really couldn't see. I think he got knocked away somewhere as the fight escalated. That makes sense. That would explain the need for the dagger. Mystic Elise raised the dagger to strike, but Mystic Maya dodged it at the last second. The dagger struck the lantern and fell to the ground. And then at some point, Mystic Maya picked it up. Nothing sounds especially strange yet. What did the victim do when the weapon was stolen? Okay, so I haven't found what I'm looking for yet. You're saying that Mia Fey turned the tables on the victim? Yes. But Mystic Maya wasn't herself at the time. After all, her life was in danger. Still can't believe it. The idea of Maya cornering someone at knife point, it's just silly. As they say, a cornered fox is more dangerous than a jackal. I believe the correct description of a cornered fox is scared and petrified. Your animal analogies have grown tiresome. You were the one who started it. Anyway, after Mia Fey backed the victim into the stone lantern, what happened next? Stabbed Mystic Elise. Are you absolutely certain that's what you saw? Yes, I'm almost certain. Almost. The garden was dark. I couldn't really tell who was who. What did she just say? So in other words, it could have been someone else entirely. We know that Mia Fey was at the Inner Temple that night, and the woman that was killed was Elise Denham. Isn't it fairly obvious who attacked who? Nah, I don't have anything to counter that yet. Well then, witness, continue with your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, so I can't counter that yet. Mystic Maya rushed straight into Mystic Elise. Then Mystic Elise doubled over and fell to the ground. So she was stabbed in the stomach, huh? Yes. Wait a minute. No? Wrong? Wrong. Wrong? She was stabbed in the back. Where's the crime photo? Or are you saying that she was stabbed? Well, I guess she could have been stabbed in the back like this. Like, she could have been stabbed in the stomach, then stabbed in the back, I guess. What does the autopsy say? Not autopsy says stab in the back. You're lying. Idiot. Something about you just isn't right today, Iris. Huh? Until now, I didn't think you were the type to make such a careless mistake. However, the testimony you just gave contains quite a few contradictions. What do you mean? What's so wrong about my testimony? According to you, Mia Fey stabbed the victim while she had her back to the stone lantern, correct? Yes, that's right. But in that case, the victim would have been stabbed in the stomach, right? Yes, I think so. But according to the autopsy report, the cause of death was due to blood loss from a stab wound in her back. This proves that the victim was stabbed from behind, not the front. Sister Iris, it appears another seed of doubt has sprouted from your testimony, moron. Oh! What? What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright? Yo, you're already on, like, Coffee Cup 4, bro? I have a feeling that you're gonna get to 17 too quick. It's simple. People are like books. We've all got a front and back. You get my drift? Is that all you have to say? I can also say that darkness loves to play with the human mind. Could you please knock it off with the cheesy proverbs and illogical metaphors already? The point is, too much of this testimony just doesn't make sense. Throwing away useful staff, the people fighting being mother and daughter. And now she falsely claims the victim was stabbed in the stomach. There certainly are some inconsistencies. Well, Iris, how about it? Well, it's just... If you ask me, you're just being too naive about the whole thing. What do you mean? Drink. There are 253 distinct types of bitterness in coffee, but to pick out each one requires total concentration and the use of all the senses. All the senses? All of them? Were you really concentrating on what this witness actually said? Prosecutor Godot, explain yourself. Witness was quite unambiguous about her own ambiguities when she said that the garden was dark and she couldn't see clearly. Human needs one thing to see clearly, and that is light. Light. By the way, did you know? Hazakura has a rule that on nights when an acolyte is at the inner temple training, the stone lantern in the garden must be kept lit. Huh, did wonder what that stone lantern was there for. Well, if that's true, shouldn't the witness have been able to see the crime more clearly? Normally, yes, Your Honor, but according to the head nun, Sister Bikini, on the night of the crime, it was impossible to light that stone lantern. Impossible? Didn't we see the tiki torches were lit? It hadn't been used in a long time, and the wick was no good. In other words, it had to have been nearly pitch black in the garden that night. There could have been a faint light coming from the training hall, but that's all. Most enlightening. Yes, that illuminating fact has chased all the contradictions away. If the staff was dropped, it would be difficult to see. It also explains why they didn't recognize each other, but then the staff ended up over at the courtyard, though. We can't see the demons that lurk in the night, that's why humans are weak. Isn't that right, Trite? No! Order! Order! Here, Your Honor, let me present the stone lantern into evidence. Maybe it will rekindle the flame of truth in your mind. Lantern from the inner temple garden was not lit the night of the crime. Why is the judge just sitting there with that look on his face? What's wrong, Your Honor? Was that flame too hot? This lantern, there's something written on it? Why, it's written in blood! Oh boy. So the judge didn't know about that yet. Written in blood. It says Maya upside down! What the? Oh yes, that's right. After being cornered and then stabbed by Mystic Maya, Mystic Lise didn't fall down right away. She must have been writing that on the stone lantern behind her. With the blood that was draining out of her body. Well, the blood couldn't be draining out of her body because the knife wasn't pulled out, right? Certainly looks that way. Hang on just a minute. What are you all talking about? What do you mean, what are we all talking about? We're talking about the message written in blood. Ha, nonsense. This lantern is as clean as a whistle. What? Could it be? He can't see the bloody writing at all? Can he not see blood? Now that I think of it, he did say something to me yesterday. My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. So that's what he meant by that. In any case, this is obviously an important clue. We now know that the crime scene was dark, and that the victim scrawled this message on the stone lantern. Well, Mr. Godot, anything further? Mr. Godot? Okay then, let's move on. Godot is literally shaking, and somehow I don't think it's from the caffeine overdose. I believe it has now been established that Miss Denham was killed by Mia Fey. That's just wrong. Now it's time to turn our attention to you. Yes, sir. After the victim died, you did something, didn't you? Let's hear it, we're all ears. Sister Iris's cover-up. After Mystic Elise died, I called out to Mystic Maya. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the Crane tradition. So I removed the body from the inner temple by myself. I dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge. Then I used the snowmobile to carry it back to Hazakura Temple and... I used the Shishishito to alter the way the wound looked. So you moved the body. Yes, I was raised at Hazakura Temple. I owe a great deal of thanks to the Fey clan. But even so, I never imagined that Elise Denham was actually Misty Fey. I've committed a terrible sin. A terrible trick of fate. I believe you're looking for Twist of Fate, Your Honor. I think Trick of Fate works here just as well. I intended to return to the inner temple after taking care of the body, but you were spotted by the head nun, correct? Yes, and that's why I couldn't go back. Your story makes sense, I suppose. Mr. Wright, go ahead with your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. All right. What am I going to catch you on here? Save at the start of each testimony. So you waited until everything was over before making a move. No, it's not like that. She saw someone murdered right in front of her eyes. It's not surprising that she was a little timid. Yes, I suppose that's true. Sometimes when I'm watching lawyers argue back and forth with each other, I feel so helpless that I just sit quietly and wait for them to reach a conclusion. Isn't it your job as the judge to mediate the argument? It wasn't until Mystic Maya saw me that it finally dawned on her what she had done. Thought it was my duty to protect the future master. So then you knew. You knew the significance of the name Mia Fey. Yes, of course I did. That's odd. I mean, Sister Bikini didn't recognize Maya's name, let alone her position. Anyway, she was a very special person indeed. Alright, that's a little sus. Maybe I can push on that. So I removed the body from the inner temple by myself. Why'd you do that? Because I didn't want Mystic Maya to be suspected in any way. I thought the best thing would be to remove the body from the crime scene. You moved her body all by yourself? Yes, I did. It would have been impossible if it wasn't for the snow. The snow, huh? Drag the body, yada yada. Did the save say 4-1? Yeah, because this is part 4-1 trial. We've gone through a lot in this, in 3-5. It's pretty amazing you could make it all the way across. That's a rickety old bridge. It looks worse than it is. It's surprisingly sturdy despite its age. It's like they say, idiots are too stupid to catch even a simple cold. But there's one other thing that bothers me. Why not just throw the body into the Eagle River? It would have been much easier than dragging it all the way to Hazakura Temple. I thought that it would still cast too much suspicion on Mystic Maya. That's why I tried to take the body as far away as possible. Ha! Makes perfect sense to me. For the time being. Anyway, what did you do after you crossed the bridge? Use the snowmobile to carry it back to Hazakura Temple and... The snowmobile? I knew that would show up sooner or later. Yes, I had the key. I used the snowmobile to travel from Hazakura to Dusky Bridge. This is the part that was in question the other day. Should I ask for more details? Absolutely. Snowmobile. Let me hear more about the snowmobile ride. I should probably have asked about the tracks, actually, because they made a big deal about that. Well, it was very cold that night, so I rode it all the way to the foot of the bridge. I'm sorry, witness, but now I've got a problem with your testimony. Excuse me? Godot, what are you up to now? That night, after the head nun left the remainder of the training to you, she said she walked back from the inner temple back to Hazakura. Yes, I'm fairly certain that's what the record indicates. Let's recall her comments on the subject. I thought the numbers meant the game in case, so for example, this would be 3-5. This is 3-5, because this is episode 5 of the 3rd game. Each episode has multiple parts to it, where, like, you can see at Justice for All here, it says Part 4-2 Trial. Each individual episode, which this one is 3-5, has a, like, 1-1 investigation, 1-2 investigation, then, like, a 2-2 trial, etc. We're at Part 4-1 Trial of Game 3, Episode 5, which is called 3-5. Maybe, but when I made it back to Hazakura Temple, it was there by the main gate. The snowmobile, I mean. The snowmobile was in front of the main gate. This is one of those contradictions, wouldn't you say? You contradict. Order, Mr. Godot. Why are you pointing out contradictions in the witness's testimony? Let's just say I like things to be neat and tidy, okay? Well, maybe Sister Bikini missed it. Yes, maybe she didn't see it. You think she missed it? That doesn't sound right. Ha! Whatever. Even I don't think this is decisive enough to warrant any more time or effort. It's just, you'd better be careful in your testimony. That's all I wanted to say. Smart little cookie like you shouldn't have any trouble understanding that. Yes, sir. What was that all about? Why would Godot want to give me a hint? Very well, let's continue the testimony. You transported the body by snowmobile all the way to Hazakura Temple. Yes, I thought that way Mystic Maya would never be suspected. That's what I thought anyway, and then I used the Shishishito to alter the way it looked. Is that what you were doing when Sister Bikini saw you? Yes, that's right. She probably thought the worst. Dude, my throat is actually starting to get a little sore. 4.5 hours in. Probably, more like definitely. I see. So Sister Bikini mistakenly thought you were the one that murdered Miss Denham. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. It's my fault this case has gotten so confusing. I have been drinking water, Falk. I have been drinking water. I've still been talking almost non-stop for 4.5 hours, brother. I don't want to believe it, but I don't think my logic is failing me. Iris is trying to pin the murder on Maya. But why would she want to do that? There's only one reason I can think of. To protect whatchamacallit. To protect Dahlia. The snowmobile, I knew that would show up sooner or later. Yes, I had the key. Okay, wait. I want to do the other... Ask about the tracks this time. If you really did move her body by snowmobile, then there should be tracks left in the snow, right? Well, yes, naturally you would expect tracks. This picture was presented at yesterday's trial. Are these the tracks from that ride? Yes, I think they are. But I can only see one set of tracks here. I don't see what's so strange about that. Snow was still falling when I left Hazakura Temple. I see. Snow was still falling, huh? And then when the murder took place, it had already stopped. That's why there are such fresh-looking tracks. How about it, Mr. Wright? What do you think about this testimony? It's very important. Magic must defeat magic. When the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. That doesn't make sense if you stack it up against the other evidence. It doesn't? Your Honor, I'd like the statement Iris just made added to the testimony, but doesn't have something to do with the case. All will be made clear if you allow her statement to be added to the record. Ha! This should be fun. Let's get this let's get this snow business cleared up, shall we? Yes, sir. By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. Does this not match the weather data I have? There have been a lot of contradictions in your testimony so far. Hold up. It snowed from 7 to 10:50, lightning at 10 to 11, lightning struck the bridge at 10:45, around 30 minutes passed between the fire starting and going out. It was snowing until the bridge had already been on fire for 5 minutes. So the murder could not have happened. You're lying then. It could not have been snowing. The murder had to have happened after the bridge was on fire. If it was snowing. Yeah. There have been a lot of contradictions in your testimony so far. This time, are you sure it's all true? Yes, I am. When the murder happened, the snow had already stopped. According to you, that's why the snowmobile tracks were so clear. That's right, I'm certain of it. I think I've trapped her this time. I see how you think. Snow, huh? What's going on here? If the snow really had stopped by the time of the murder, it'd mean there's a bigger hole in her story than the movie The Grid Revelations? Is that a joke about The Matrix? Well then, Mr. Trite, perhaps you'd like to share your theory with us? Let's see what's up your sleeve, or rather at the end of your index finger. I don't want to believe it, but I don't think my logic is failing me. Iris is trying to pin the murder on Maya, but why would she want to... Yeah. The only reason is to protect Dahlia. Alright, so I don't think this matches up with the weather data. The music didn't stop, oh no. I'm wrong. You don't sound very sure, objection denied. Oh, I thought I had that. Don't think that won me any points with the judge. I really thought I had that. What is it? Yeah. I don't think I need this yet. Horrible sketch of what he saw the night of the crime. By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. You're supposed to show the tracks photo? I really thought that the weather data was gonna carry me here again. Gravy. I'm lost. After Mystic Lise died, I called out to Mystic Maya. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master. I removed the body from the inner temple, dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge. Then I used the snowmobile to carry it back to Azakura Temple. I used the Shishito to alter the way the wound looked. By the time the murder took place, how is it? I don't understand why I'm wrong. Someone in chat want to point me in the right direction here? We're at 4.5 hours. The longer I go without having dinner, the more willing I am to just ask chat to tell me what to do. What am I missing here? Is it just that I need to present something different? I don't know what else I could present here, though. Orders from Morgan Le Fay. Or just Morgan Fay, whoops. There's something else that tells you why that can't be true. By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. Doesn't match this. This matches with the snow having already stopped. That doesn't do anything. How is something other than the weather data supposed to show that the snow has already stopped? The crystal sphere? Maybe? Because it was like already buried in snow? Yeah, because it was already buried in snow after the murder? Yeah. Your Honor, this is wrong too? Really? I mean, that is a contradiction though. We proved that, like, the murder had to happen. The weather data is correct on a different statement? What? On a different statement? This is the statement that says the snow had already stopped. What statement do I have to present it on? It's weird? Oh, this is stupid then. So I was right, but they've made it dumb. Fourth, according to a guide. 1, 2, 3, 4. I dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge? Huh? Why? You claim the snow had already stopped when the murder occurred, but I'm sorry, Iris, that isn't possible. What? This is the weather data from the night of the murder. According to this, the snow didn't stop until 10:50. But you couldn't have crossed Dusky Bridge at that time. Oh, because of the lightning and the snow timing. Okay. Okay, so this one makes sense, but I also think it's bad game design. I think that I could have figured this out if there hadn't been a line, and we had to get her to add that to her testimony too, didn't we? The fact that you add a bit of testimony that has her say the snow stopped by then, and there are so many things that say, like, the murder had to have happened while it was still snowing, and none of those are correct, but you have to specifically get the, like, it snowed while the bridge was already on fire. I think that that's a mistake by the devs. I think that's intentionally, I think that what I said was right, but the devs didn't account for it being right. I think that the devs were stupid on that one. I think that they messed that one up, to be honest. I think that they were the ones who made a mistake. Why do you say that? Because 5 minutes before the snow stopped, Dusky Bridge was struck by lightning and had caught on fire. What did you say? The bridge? It was on fire? You don't mean to say you didn't know about it. It was because of that lightning strike that the bridge burned down. What? But it can't be. Looks like you still haven't figured it out. No matter how hard you try to deceive or conceal the truth, you can't pull the wool over the eyes of a real defense attorney. No! Yeah, I agree, chat. You should be able to use it on either one. If presenting the weather data on the snow having stopped, that should have worked just as much as presenting it on the other one. I think that they, like, adding that other statement and it not also being correct is the devs just being stupid. That was dumb. If it had been doable on either of them, that would have been perfectly fine. Order! The bridge was already on fire when the incident took place. That's right, the inner temple was already totally cut off from the outside world. There's no way you could have crossed the bridge, body or no body. Witness, even my patience has its limits. Any further lying and I will fine you in contempt of court. Do you have anything to say for yourself? Oh, is someone finally gonna get in trouble for perjury for the first time in Phoenix Wright history? The only person here that is truly contemptible is you. Old man. Me? How dare you? Whether this witness lied or not doesn't mean squat right now. Excuse me? I think that them lying means a lot, actually. Squat? The important thing now is to find out the truth, isn't that right? Yes, of course, but whether it was snowing or not snowing, or whether the bridge was burning or not, there are two facts that can't be disputed. First, the body of Elise Denham was discovered in the Hazakura Temple courtyard, and second, the head nun's sister Bikini witnessed Iris desecrating Elise Denham's body. He makes a good point on both accounts. That's right, I'm not lying. What are you claiming this time? I wasn't myself at all that night, so my memory is still somewhat hazy. Objection! You have stood at that witness stand and testified this entire time. Are you telling me now that your memory of that night is hazy?
Objection!
It is only human to err. If you're so perfect trite, maybe you can explain this for the court. What is it? When the murder happened, the bridge had already burnt down. But somehow the body traveled across the bridge and was found in the temple courtyard. Perhaps you have some kind of perfect explanation for this little magic trick? Well, not exactly, no. I know there must be some other way she got across that burnt-out bridge. But unless I can somehow demonstrate it, we'll never know the truth. Looks like the defense is not prepared to offer a suitable explanation. You see what I mean? In other words, you're in no position to suggest that this lady's testimony isn't the truth. Ah! Alright then, witness, let's hear your testimony once more. About what, Your Honor? You've admitted that you moved the victim's body. Nevertheless, your prior testimony contained a rather large inconsistency. Please add an explanation for that to your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. Will this be your final testimony? Will it? I hope so, because we're coming up on 5 hours. Other than walking over the bridge, there's no way to move the body. So I must have just gotten confused, I guess. Was the snow still falling, or had it stopped? Does it really matter that much? Or are you saying that there is a way to cross a burning bridge? Ah, so it was just a misunderstanding, I see. This is a photo of Dusky Bridge after it burned down from the lightning blast. It was taken on the morning after the incident. Okay, what's up with this bridge? There's gonna be some stuff wrong with this. It certainly was burned to a crisp, and one of the suspension wires even snapped. It's amazing the whole bridge didn't fall. Clearly, it would be impossible to carry a corpse across a bridge in this condition. Okay. We're gonna need to use this for something. Unless I do something to discredit this testimony, it's gonna be deemed as the truth, and Maya will be accused of murder. Trite, I'm only gonna say it one more time. It's only human to err, and only humans can spot the errors of our ways. The more sense he makes, the less sense he makes. Alright, Mr. Wright, please begin your final cross-examination. Okay, so this is the end of this. What am I at on time? We got 13 minutes to get through this one, chat, to hit the 5-hour mark and be done with this. To be done with this one, and then hopefully the last one only takes an hour. Other than walking over the bridge, there's no way to move the body, so I must have just gotten... Oh, wait, I don't need to read this again. I need to do hold it. Whoops. Yes, but if the snow had already stopped when the incident took place, I couldn't have crossed the bridge naturally. But I think it's just like Mr. Godot said, the body did make it across somehow. So I must have just gotten confused, I guess. But you seemed to be quite sure of yourself when you gave your testimony. You said you were sure the snow had already stopped. I'm terribly sorry, I was wrong. Does she really think an apology is going to get her off the hook? Was the snow still falling or had it stopped? Does it really matter that much? This is no joke. You've given sworn testimony in a court of law. That literally is a joke in this franchise. Well, Mr. Wright, let me ask you a question. Do you remember what the weather was like 1 week ago today? Huh? Well, naturally it was, you see, it's not that easy to remember, is it? Yeah, but he wasn't carrying a dead body, though, on that day. If it had been some kind of a special day, I would have remembered. For example, it was pouring rain on the day of my elementary school graduation.
Objection!
No one wants to hear about your childhood traumas, Trite. Trauma? Trauma? By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. If you insist on obsessing over that one statement, let's see the proof. Show some evidence that the body somehow crossed the bridge while it was on fire. Okay. Are Are you saying that there is a way to cross a burning bridge? You could fly over it. I don't see why there wouldn't be a way across. Mr. Wright, don't you think that sounds a bit silly? A dead body crossing a burning bridge? Did anyone actually witness such a thing? Oh my goodness, it's Larry's stupid painting, bro! If there was, I don't think you'd call someone like that a witness. After all, a dream isn't the same as actually seeing something. I come all this way, so I owe it to everyone to figure this out. How do you transport a body across a burning bridge? Even if I don't know the exact answer yet, it's okay. I'll start by examining all my evidence and see where it takes me. I gotta be like a shark. If I don't keep moving, I'm as good as dead. Are you saying there's a way to cross a burning? Oh my goodness, bro. You don't need... There's nothing in the rule book, Your Honor, that says a dog cannot play basketball. The music stopped. It's actually right. A dead body flying over a burning bridge? I wouldn't exactly rule out the possibility. What? Ha! You're saying it's possible? Don't make me laugh. The only thing that's possible about your claim is that it's been pulled out of thin air. I don't know about that. In any case, we have a witness who did see it happen. Preposterous! Who is it? Who's the witness? Can't check it out here. Gotta keep on the attack and go, go, go. Miss Elise Denham's brilliant and highly gifted apprentice, Loris Denham. Brilliant, highly gifted apprentice. Remember what he said in his testimony? That night he was at the Mountain Shack, Heavenly Hall, and that's when he witnessed the event. I think you've all seen this sketch before. It's an exact drawing of what he witnessed that night. Are you serious? Today's not April Fool's Day, is it? Mr. Wright, are you seriously claiming that the victim flew through the air? I have no idea how the victim flew through the air here, dude. And you're using this pathetic scribble to support your argument? Uh-oh. The judge looks like he's about to blow a gasket. Ha! Well, Trite, there's nowhere for you to hide now. Other than looking like it was drawn by a 6-year-old, does this sketch prove anything? Yes, I'm pretty sure it does, and I'm gonna prove it. Listen, I know your tricks. You're trying to turn this whole thing upside down. If you're so eager to turn this case upside down, why not start with the sketch? Upside down? Why did Godot say that? Turn the sketch upside down? Alright, then let's hear the defense's theory. What exactly is this sketch trying to show? Upside down? Are you saying that she fell from the bridge? And that this sketch is upside down? I don't think old Whiskerface is gonna forgive any more mistakes. Alright, Phoenix, look carefully and think it over. This sketch drawn by Loris Denham is... Well, it's not evidence of nothing. It's a complete contradiction or exactly what happened? Well, I'm trying to find contradictions. So, a complete contradiction? Something is obviously funny about this sketch. I'm no art critic, but even I can see that. No, that's not what I mean, Your Honor. Loris Denham stated it over and over that this sketch was exactly as he saw it. Oh my goodness, he's looking at it upside down. However, if we're to believe his testimony, then the sketch contradicts reality as we know it. It contradicts reality. Ha! This is getting interesting. Looks like you're back to pointing that finger-pointing thing again. Okay, Trite, so what exactly contradicts reality as we know it? Do I point out the falling body? Or... if this is upside down... Oh, it's these suspension things are upside down. The wires. So I just, like... choose the... like, it's obvious the wire is upside down? It's this wire connected to the bridge. The wire? Ha! Is that thing the thing that contradicts reality? It is indeed. Then show us the reality it supposedly conflicts with. Show us something that will point out how the sketch contradicts reality. Do I have a picture? I have a picture of the bridge. Yeah, the suspension. Look, those wires are upside down. Take that! Take that, idiot. That's a photo of Dusky Bridge, correct? Yes, now compare the sketch and the photo for a minute. In the sketch, the wires appear to be above the guard wires. But on the actual Dusky Bridge, jumping Jehoshaphat! The wires are below the guard wires! What? Get wrecked, Godot. Get destroyed. Order! This sketch is somewhat different than what's depicted in the photo. However, isn't it likely that the artist just saw it wrong? Or perhaps he just drew it wrong? Either way, it sounds like you're just wrong. With someone like Larice, I admit a mistake is a definite possibility. But then that begs the question, why do you make a mistake? What was the reason? Are you saying you know the answer to that? Listen, think back, alright? Remember what Larice was doing when he witnessed the events? He was at Heavenly Hall waiting for a lover that was never gonna come. He waited and finally he laid down. But then, lightning shoots from the sky and sets the bridge aflame. Now ponder what sort of position Larice must have been in at that time. He was lying on his back, which is why he remembered the scene the way he did. He was lying on his back? I can't see how it relates. But it does, Your Honor. That's the reason why the wires in the sketch go up instead of down. Ugh, no way. Larice Denham witnessed the event while he was lying on his back, face up. In other words, the scene that he saw was actually upside down. So then, this sketch should actually... I think you finally get it, Your Honor. The correct way to view Larice Denham's sketch is like this. This is how it should actually look. The victim's body wasn't flying above the bridge. It was actually swinging below. Swinging? That's right, just like a pendulum. What? Ridiculous! Bro, learn to say it, not spray it, man. Objection! Order! Objection! Of all the things to say, a pendulum? The bridge was burning to a crisp. There was no way to get across it. But if the body had been found at the inner temple, it would have caused problems. This is where the criminal decided to take a gamble. They used the burning bridge to get the body across to the other side. And a pendulum was the only way to get it done. A pendulum? Let's think about this for a minute, shall we? Dusky Bridge is about 20 yards long, which means it's about that far from the inner temple to the opposite cliff. Yeah, that sounds right. In order to cover that distance with the pendulum, you'd need a rope at least 10 yards long. To get a rope that long, you have to plan ahead. Or you just, like, take one of the wires. The lightning strike that night can only have been an accident, so it doesn't make sense that the culprit would have prepared the rope beforehand. So then, they didn't have to get the rope ready. The rope was already right in front of them. What? I'm saying that it was just a matter of using what was already there. In that case, Mr. Wright, please give us an explanation to support your theory. What makes you think the criminal had the rope on hand to create a pendulum? It must have just been from the bridge, right? Like, look, right there's the rope that they used to swing. Right there. Take that! Take that. And the meaning of this is, if you want to know where the rope came from, it's hanging right there in front of your glorious beard. Ah! This is one of the wires from the bridge. When the lightning struck the bridge and set it on fire, one of the suspension wires came loose from its anchor. The criminal didn't have any time to waste, so they tied the wire around Larice Denham's body. I cannot believe that this worked. How did the body disconnect from the wire in the middle of swinging? What? Because there was simply no other way to move the body. Ha! Glug, 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 glug. The music that plays when Godot drowns himself in coffee because I bested him yet again. Mr. Godot! Seems Mr. Godot is more focused on his coffee than answering my question. Seems that the odds of a rope being readily available were very high, so I suppose it's not an impossibility after all. Objection. How is there still coffee in that? Possible or impossible, that's not the question we need to ask. There's only one question. Did that really happen? Trite, I wonder if you can prove what happened to us. Do you have any actual evidence that the body was swung over like a pendulum? That the body was swung like a pendulum? The sphere? Would she have had her staff on her when she was sent swinging? Maybe? That's exactly the orb. Wait a minute. The orb fell exactly. Yeah. I wish I could save the game right now. Take that! Before I present my evidence, let me review what we know so far. According to this photo, one of the wires snapped. Looking at the map, we can see it's one that was in front of the inner temple. So then that was the spot where the criminal? Yes, precisely. Let us consider the body's movements by looking at the overhead map again. If the body was pushed from this point here, it would drop on the opposite bank at approximately this point. Did you say drop? Well, they must have failed to catch the body on the other bank. What? What makes you think something like that happened? Because I have evidence that suggests her body dropped some distance. What kind of evidence? Take a look at this autopsy report. Oh, the fact that she fell like 10 feet. Says here that the body fell about 10 feet after her death. 10 feet, huh? That's most likely the height difference between the two sides. The body overswung due to forward momentum, but it came loose and fell about 10 feet. And then as a result of the landing impact, I wonder if you could have shown the autopsy report to get this then. There were two different evidences that could have done it. This crystal sphere was knocked loose. Yes, this blood-stained amethyst crystal. It's the one that came off of Miss Elise de Gnome's staff, whatever her name is. Misty Fey. And even more important is the place where this crystal sphere was found. Indeed, I believe it's already marked on this overhead map. Yeah. Crystal was found. Precisely, Your Honor. In the very spot where the pendulum would arrive if given the right amount of speed. This explains your theory quite well, Mr. Wright. You have provided us with a way the body could have been moved that night. An impressive deduction, Mr. Wright. Most impressive. Mr. Wright! I thought this cold coffee might help you cool down. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Godot? That was a dark and bitter guess that you made, Trite, but you forgot about one thing. Oh, and what would that be? The aroma. Huh? A coffee's most reliable accomplice is its deep and profound aroma. I'm gonna save real quick because I think he's about to ask me to prove something. The rest of the court doesn't speak Coffinese. Can you elaborate a bit more? If the criminal had sent the body to the other side like you say, then naturally there must have been an accomplice lying in wait to catch it. An accomplice? The criminal wasn't able to cross Dusky Bridge, so who collected the body? What do you have to say about that, Trite? Mr. Godot is correct. This can't be the work of a single person. Well, Mr. Wright, you know what you must do? Yes, Your Honor. The body couldn't have made it to Hazakura Temple without an accomplice. Well, Iris is the one who took it to the temple, actually, but that means that Dahlia, possessing presumably Maya, is the one who threw it from the other side. Very well then, if you please, Mr. Wright. Who was the person that received the body on the Hazakura Temple side? Do you want me to say Iris or Dahlia here? We're working under the assumption that Iris is on the inner temple side, so I assume they want me to say Dahlia. Take that! Take that? Well, Mr. Godot, I'm sure you have something to say. Oh, this is wrong. This is supposed to be Iris, actually. Smelled of sulfur. Perhaps it was... Nah, dang it. I'm gonna reload, because I'm getting way too low on health. Alright, shut up. I didn't mean to play the jazz again. Come on, come on. So do I say Iris then? Take that! Take that. It can only be you, Sister Iris. Okay, so alright. I outplayed myself. I thought to myself, like, sometimes in Ace Attorney, they make you say things that are wrong to precede the case. That mostly happened in Justice for All, I think, and it was a big reason I hated Justice for All. But they actually want me to try and, like, get the facts straight here. Okay. But I don't see why you're so surprised. The only way to transport the body from Dusky Bridge is by snowmobile. But with her bad back, Sister Bikini could never pick up a body like that. You're the only one that could have managed it. Trite, were you even listening to the witness's testimony? On the night of the crime, this little cutie pie was on cleanup duty in the inner temple garden after the mother-daughter bloodbath. I haven't forgotten, but have you, Mr. Goodell? This witness was also seen at Hazakura Temple, desecrating the corpse of the victim. Strange indeed, it's almost as if, on that night, the defendant was in two different places at the same time. Sister Iris, let me ask you something. Why didn't you mention it when you first gave your testimony? Mention what? The pendulum, of course. Using this sketch drawn by an eyewitness, I have established how the body was moved using the burnt out bridge. Oh my god, I need this game to end soon. Which means it's now a fact that this occurred, something you should have already known. No, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about a pendulum. But the body couldn't have been passed along to the other side without your help, so you should have known about it. In fact, it'd be impossible for you to be clueless about this whole thing, unless you're not really Iris to begin with. What? How can you say that, Mr. Wright? What? What kind of nonsense is this? You're saying this witness isn't Iris of Hazakura Temple? Wait, am I talking to Dahlia right now?
Objection!
Are you serious, Trite? You mean this woman is, I should say. There's no one besides Iris that could have received the corpse that night. Now I get it. Now I know why I've been sick to my stomach this whole trial. It's because you're talking to Dahlia. Why her whole demeanor changed so suddenly from yesterday, and why she's trying to pin this murder on Maya. The woman that's standing there at the witness stand, her real name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I never thought I'd have to utter your name again, let alone see you. It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne. Hawthorne? Sister Iris had a twin sister, and you're looking at her, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. That name rings some bells. Distant bells, but bells nonetheless. Ha! It's just your imagination, Gramps. This file contains all the relevant data about Dahlia Hawthorne. Oh yes, I remember now. That case 5 years ago. My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I just want to say it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence. Honor is all mine. No, the honor is all mine. Yada yada. But, according to this, Dahlia Hawthorne is already dead. Says her execution was carried out last month. So what? Death has no meaning in this courtroom. What? Order, order! Wait a moment. How can you, my sister, she's already dead? What kind of? You of all people should already understand, after all, the blood of the master of the crane channeling technique flows within that body. The crane channeling technique? Now where have I heard that? That's right, you're not Dahlia Hawthorne herself. You're the spirit of Dahlia, currently inhabiting the body of a spirit medium. What an exciting story. Exciting, but quite impossible. You're asking us to buy that Dahlia Hawthorne just happened to be channeled by someone on the very night of the murder to a temple where her twin sister Iris was? Well, if you're gonna put things that way, then yeah. We're supposed to believe a coincidence like that just happens? Naturally, it was no coincidence. The whole thing was part of a plan from the very beginning. It's all written right here in these instructions. What's that? These instructions were written by your mother, Morgan Fey. And part of the plan called for Dahlia Hawthorne to be channeled. That night, there were 2 irises at Hazakura Temple. 2 of them. Even the time of the channeling was planned out, as soon as you hear the lights out bell, in other words, 10 p.m. However, Iris was seen before dinner time. That means the Iris that was at dinner was the real Iris. And the Iris who gave me this hood in the main hall was also the real Iris, meaning that the Iris sister Bikini saw at the inner temple was someone else dressed as her, namely one Dahlia Hawthorne.
Objection!
Do you even know what you're saying, Trite? This whole channeling the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne business? Yes, it's true you found plans that talk about it. However, there's one thing that's perfectly clear. The witness currently standing in the witness stand is the real Iris. What? Calm down and remember what you know about the night of the crime. After meeting Sister Bikini, the Dahlia Hawthorne that had been channeled would have been stranded at the inner temple due to the lightning strike. There she goes. It was later that the body was moved by pendulum. That's right. Naturally, that would mean that the Iris that received the body was the real Iris. Are you with me so far? Yes. After being notified of what happened, the police came to Hazakura Temple's main hall. There they found Iris in her room and arrested her. And ever since, she's been under police supervision at the detention center. Yeah, I suppose. I can't deny any of that. Ooh, thank goodness. Looks like he's finally convinced. But something still seems off, way off. Still not convinced that the Iris here is the same one from the other night? Ha! Suppose you're about to say something really ridiculous? Like the real Iris and the spirit of Dahlia somehow switched places. Switched places? To be perfectly honest, there are still quite a few things I don't understand, but I do know that unless we confirm the witness's identity, we can't continue with the trial. Iris doesn't have the spiritual power needed to channel Dahlia. She doesn't? Okay. Which means they must have switched places somewhere. Well, Mr. Wright, since the time she was arrested at Hazakura Temple, have there ever been any chances for Iris to switch with Dahlia? Obviously. Oh, it's when Edgeworth. Your Honor, I think there might have been one chance. It's when Edgeworth passed out from the earthquake, and then Iris went to the. Yep. Explain yourself. Yesterday, for a few minutes, Iris's whereabouts were unknown. Unknown? What do you mean? What I mean is, there was a span of time in which Iris was able to move about freely, unsupervised. Well, who was it? Who would give a murder suspect time to move about freely like that? Oh, don't make me call out Edgeworth on this. I'm sorry. I know you didn't mean to. It wasn't your fault. The person who gave Iris the chance to freely move about was Miles Edgeworth.
Take that!
This is Mr. Edgeworth, isn't it? Your Honor, there was a fairly large earthquake yesterday, was there not? An earthquake? Earthquake! Oh my goodness! The inner temple, oh! How could I have? She fled, she escaped. We went to the inner temple right away. Oh, so from ever since the earthquake, Iris has been Dahlia. And it's true, Iris was already there. However, they had already switched places by that point in time. When I arrived at the training hall, I was met by none other than Dahlia Hawthorne. So is that Maya's body right now? That's quite enough already, Mr. Wright. Now see here, no judge in his right mind would be quiet. Oh, Dahlia, yep. It's been a long time, Mr. Judge. That voice. Guess I'll have to ask again. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules. Dahlia Hawthorne, and my current profession, permanently retired. Ha! So you're not gonna bother hiding your identity anymore, huh? Why should I? After all, I'm dead. There's really nothing you can do to punish me. What is going on here? Dahlia Hawthorne. I never thought we'd meet again, and I never thought we'd meet like this. So that's Maya's body. But this time I'll end it, for her and for myself. Oh, to be continued, please? Alright, that one took a while, but we got it. That was like an hour and 20 minutes.